Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm like oddly excited about this video. I don't know what it is about this video idea that is just fun to think about, but we're gonna do a full face of if I lost all of my makeup, if I walked into this room one day and all my makeup was gone, what would I repurchase first? What would be those items that like I either cannot live without, or items that like some of these I didn't pick because they're my absolute favorites, but I chose them for other reasons, and I'll kind of explain that as I go. But this is gonna be a full face of if like all my makeup was gone, what would I repurchase right away? I think this video idea is just fun because it really makes you think about like, what are your favorites? Accessibility wise, where would you want to repurchase all your makeup from, and cost wise, because it's expensive. Makeup is expensive, and having to like rebuy a whole face all at once would be quite a bit of money. So that is what we're here to do today. Like I said, I'm like weirdly excited about this video. I just think it's a fun idea. Before we get started though, if you like this video while you're watching it, please go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. It really does help my channel out. And other than that, if you're excited and you want to see what makeup I would repurchase first if all my makeup got lost, let's go ahead and get started. Pepper is back there in the window seal. I don't know if you can see his little shadow right there. So if you hear or see things moving back there, that is why. First off, with an eye primer, I would probably repurchase the Rare Beauty Always an Optimist, I believe, eye primer. This is not my favorite eye primer. However, I was thinking like accessibility wise, this would be the easiest one to go to because my NARS one that I like is always sold out everywhere. And then I have one from Shop Miss A, and I also have one from Viseart that I like, but I wouldn't go out of my way to go to either of those websites just to purchase an eye primer. You know what I mean? And actually, realistically, I'd probably end up purchasing the Ulta Beauty matte eye primer just because it would be a little bit more affordable than this one. And I've just heard really good things about that eye primer. I haven't ever tried it though, but of all the eye primers that I own currently, I'd probably go ahead and repurchase the Rare Beauty just because, like I said, it's the easiest to get my hands on, being able to purchase it right from Sephora. This isn't a bad eye primer. It's not like I have anything negative to say about it. It just doesn't like rock my socks, knock my socks off, rock my world. I think I just combined two sayings. And yeah, I don't know. It's just like not a fave. A little bit drying. It doesn't completely blank out my veins and discoloration on my eyelid like I would prefer, but it's a good one. Alrighty, eyeshadow was hard and not hard at the same time. Obviously, I have a very large eyeshadow collection. I've been collecting and loving makeup for years and years, so like a lot of these I've had for a long time, and I really do have a lot of palettes that I love that I would want back in my collection eventually. I was between two palettes. The first one was the Patrick Ta Major Dimensions 2 Rose palette, just because I love that palette with my whole entire heart, and every time I use it, I feel so beautiful. But that baby is like $68, which is a lot of money, and if I'm buying a full face of makeup all at once, I would not want to spend that much on one item. So I decided on my other favorite palette that I love with my entire heart, the Natasha Denona Mini Nude palette. This one is only $27, so it'd be just a little bit easier to purchase that all at once. And as you can tell from looking at this, I love this palette so much. It is literally one of my favorites. I use it all the time. So we're going to start off with this shade right here. And we're going to throw that into the crease. I thought about doing a talk through video of this. Kelly Gooch just did this video like last week or something like that. And she did a talk through and just kind of like showed you the products and why she would pick it and like said why she would pick them. But I don't know. I thought it would be a fun little get ready with me to show you the products in action. A lot of these you've already seen in action on my channel many times if you're an avid watcher of my videos, which if you are, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But I don't know. I figure, you know what? It doesn't hurt to just talk about your faves again in case anyone's new. Then we're going to take this deep dark brown right here, put it on my outer corner. We're going to do a real simple eye. I have to work after this, so we're not going to do anything too dramatic. I am almost done with work. My last day is coming up in like 2 weeks, and I'm really sad about it. I actually really love that bank job that I'm at right now. I really like my boss a lot, and like most of the customers, we have like regular customers that come in, you know, that you get to know and you like talk to them, and I don't know, I'm sad to leave, but I'm also excited because that means that my daughter, that's so weird to say, is gonna be born soon. Freaking out, but I'm excited. We're both excited. You guys already know I would repurchase the NYX glitter primer. I This sounds dramatic, but I cannot do my eye looks without this stuff. It is absolute best. So we're gonna put this on the inner portion of my lid. And then you know what? I'm gonna go with this shimmer, which I really don't use very often. If you can, obviously this one has a pan in it and this one has a huge dip in it. I really don't reach into this more like orangey, bronzy shimmer, but I'm going to for today. I did use that shade a couple months back when we went to Indiana to visit my sister and her husband, and I was like pleasantly surprised with how it looked, and I haven't used it since. And I remember on that trip thinking like, I need to use this shade more often, and guess who hasn't touched it since? This girl. So we're changing that today. And it is a really, really pretty shade. Like, stop it. That's beautiful. I just like the other two shimmers a little bit more. Gonna add a little bit more brown out here. This palette, you guys, so good. Next up for primer, I probably wouldn't go crazy and buy the 2 ounce of the Hourglass Mineral Veil primer just because this is like $75, but I've been through like 2 minis in the 1 ounce and I repurchased it in the 2 ounce because this is my favorite primer ever. It is just the best. I don't know what it is about this primer, but I swear it's like magic. It makes my makeup stay on so well. So I would probably repurchase the mini just because, like I said, I'd be buying everything at once and that would be really pricey, but I would have to go in with this primer. It's like a little bit of everything, a little smoothing, a little hydrating, and like I said, it just makes my makeup last perfectly all day long. Okay, foundation. I feel like I might surprise some of you guys with this choice. I also feel like I'm in a little bit of a foundation rut right now. I haven't found a new favorite foundation that I'm like absolutely in love with for probably over a year at this point, which is a little bit of a bummer. But I went ahead and chose the Purito Cica Clearing BB Cream in the shade number 21 Light Beige. A couple reasons why. One, this is very easily accessible. You can just order it right on Amazon. Also, it's very affordable. I want to say it's like $10, $11, maybe $12. Also, I love this on its own, and I love mixing this in with other foundations. This mixed in with any foundation just takes that foundation and elevates it, makes it so much better, glowier, prettier, better coverage, color corrects it. Everything about this is beautiful, but I actually still really love this on its own as well, and I don't show that on my channel very often. Whenever I talk about this, I typically am mixing it in with something, but it's beautiful on its own as well. So the very first foundation I would repurchase would be this one, just because I can use it on its own. And then whenever I decide to, you know, venture out and buy another one, I would be able to mix it in. I hate how I have to apply this, or how I like to apply this, because I just smother it on my face like this to get the most coverage out of it. And this is just really messy, and I don't like the feeling of applying things with my hands, but I get past it because this is how I like this product on my skin the most. I found out over the years of using it. Like, ugh, I can't, this is gross. So you wipe that off, obviously. And then I do take the butt of my sponge and I get a little bit more on that. And then I start blending out. I found if I don't get more on the sponge can kind of pick up a little bit of this. Not the end of the world, but I just like, cannot get that little bit of hair. I just like more full coverage. If you like more medium to light coverage, you probably wouldn't have to do that step, and obviously don't apply this much. But then you just blend this out, and the undertone of this is so odd, but in the best way possible. It's like almost a little bit of a gray undertone, but it's just so good, and it like blends into my skin so nicely. And like I said, anytime I mix this in with something, it color corrects it, because a lot of times foundations are too orangey yellow on me. And then when you get the foundation all blended in, it just gives the most beautiful glow to your skin. Oh, it's absolutely stunning. But when you set it down with powder, that glow like is more subdued, you know what I mean? Like it kind of goes away a little bit, but it still is there a little bit, and it just wears so nicely throughout the day. It doesn't get like too oily or greasy or bunch up on me. A little bit on my chin, but that happens with every foundation. I just think this stuff is stunning. I've been raving about it for like a year and a half at this point, maybe almost 2 years. It's just so good. The shade range is awful. I'll say that. Shade range is awful, which is a bummer, but everything else, I love it. Sorry, I'm not done raving about that foundation. I also love that for a BB cream, it provides so much coverage. This was with technically 1 layer, but it was a pretty thick layer, you guys saw. But like, look how much coverage that provides. And I am like a full coverage queen. I want to cover up everything. And I wouldn't say this is like 100% full coverage, but it covers up everything I want it to. Okay, concealer. Kind of like foundation. I feel like I'm in a little bit of a concealer rut. I have like quite a few that I like to reach for every now and then, but I don't have like a good go-to one that I love with my whole heart. But I feel like I would probably end up repurchasing the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer. In this, I have the shade Yogurt Drops 1.5B. I do really like this a lot. I like a lot of things about it. Probably my go-to concealer right now. It just blends in nicely, provides coverage, it's a good shade match for me. All the things that you want, not too drying. So that's what it looks like blended out with one layer. I think it looks really good on my under eyes. I've used this a million times in other videos. You guys know what it looks like on me, but still, I wanted to show you again. For powder, I love my Laura Mercier Under Eye Secret Brightening Under Eye Powder. That stuff's bomb. I use it all of the time. But again, if I lost all my makeup and I was rebuying it all at once, I would not spend the $30 on that powder on top of $38 for this powder, because this powder is, I don't like the price point. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Loose Setting Powder in the shade Vanilla. I think that this is priced way too high just for it being Anastasia. I don't know. Something about the $38 price tag just bothers me. But this is my second compact of this, I believe, and I have another one in backup. It is my favorite powder. I will pay the price. I don't like to pay $38 for it, but I will pay the price for it because this powder is the most smoothing powder, perfecting powder on my skin. It just looks beautiful with any foundation I pair it with, sets my makeup down so beautifully without being like drying or cakey or anything like that. I love this powder so much. So we're gonna get a little bit on this puff and set my under eyes with it. And then because this foundation is a little bit more on the dewy-ish side, and by the end of the day, I do get a little oily in my T-zone, I like to take quite a bit of powder and just like press it into my chin, which is my most oily part, as well as up into my smile lines. And then also up here on my forehead. And then I just take my big fluffy brush that I always use to set my face with. This is the Morphe R2. I don't know if I ever really tell you guys that. It's really old and dirty. I need to wash it. But I just take the powder and press it into the rest of my face to set the rest of my face. And I don't know what it is about this powder, but I swear it is the most smoothing powder I've ever used. I mean, I feel like you can visibly see on my skin that it's smoother. Maybe not. Maybe you can't. Maybe it's in my head. But to me, I feel like it is. Bronzer. I have quite a few bronzers that I love with my whole heart that I would really want to repurchase. The NARS Cream Bronzer, Chef's Kiss, so good. The Gucci Luminous Bronzer, the Charlotte Tilbury Bronzer. I don't really know though. I have like a lot of bronzers I really love, but you know which one I think I would repurchase? I think I'd rebuy the Maybelline City Bronzer first. It's like $10. It's so beautiful on the skin. I can put 50 layers of this on my skin and it never looks bad. It never gets like patchy or weird or just like anything like that. I can literally pound this on and it looks good. It smells good. I've been through one whole one in the past, and if you can tell, I'm like about to hit pan on this one as well. This is my second one. I have the shade 100. There is 3 shades and this is the lightest one. And it's just a good go-to bronzer. Little powdery in the pan, nothing terrible though, but it's just like a staple that I always want in my collection. And the fact that it's only like $10 would be really nice when I am hypothetically repurchasing a full face. Like, oh, look at that. The tone is perfect for my fair skin as well. This 100 shade just goes on so smooth. This is a good one. If you have not tried the Maybelline City Bronzer, I think it's a little underrated. Oh, I just hit pan. That's exciting. I think it's underrated. I don't think a lot of people either talk about this or have tried it. It's definitely a bronzer and not like a more contoury kind of shade, but I don't feel like that it pulls too orangey tone on me. Sometimes bronzers can pull too warm tone, especially on my fair skin, and this one like never does. For highlight, I would also go drugstore and try to save a little money, but realistically, this is one of my favorite highlights regardless of the fact that it's drugstore and affordable, and it's the Milani Baked Highlighter in the shade Dolce Perla. This is so perfect because it's a little champagne-y, it's a little gold. You can subdue it out and make it more subtle. You can really wham bam pack it on and make it like impactful on your cheeks. And because it's a baked formula, it's just so like smoothing and pretty on the skin. And I would probably want to get this one first. Either this one or the MAC Soft and Gentle highlighter. But again, that one's like $40. And this is 12, 14, I think, off the top of my head. So I would be saving quite a bit of money if I would just pick this one up instead. And honestly, it's beautiful. Like, look at that. Oh, it's just such a pretty highlight. Blush was a little harder because I have a lot of blushes I love. Probably my favorite blush right now is the Odin's Eye Sunset Clouds blush, but kind of like the eye primers, I wouldn't go to Odin's Eye's website just to purchase one blush. You know what I mean? As much as I love that blush and I would 100% want it back in my collection eventually, I don't think it would be the first one I would go out and buy. And I think that would be the Bare Minerals bronzer in the shade Kiss of Pink. This is just so good, you guys. Look how like used it is. It's like used and abused because it's just one of my favorites. I use it all the time. And again, thinking about accessibility wise of like just picking up an order from Ulta or Sephora, this is available at both. So it would be a lot easier to get my hands on, you know what I mean? But also it's just one of my favorites. You guys have heard me rave about this blush 1,000 times, approximately 1,000 times on this channel because it's just so stinking good. The tone, the color, everything about it. The wear time, the little bit of sheen and glow it gives your skin. Gorgeous. e.l.f. Wow Brow. This is the best stuff ever in general, but especially at the drugstore. This is like $3, $4, and it is like my favorite brow product. If you don't like fluffy brows, you won't like this. If you need like a super strong hold, you won't like this. But so fluffy and pretty. And the fact that it's like $4, I just think that's amazing. I love that. Okay, we're gonna mix these two matte shades for my lower lash line. Mainly the light one, but a little bit of the dark. And run that along here. And then we're gonna use this shade as my inner corner highlight. I think it's light enough for this. Yeah, a little dark, but that's okay. I'm trying to think if I would immediately repurchase ColourPop Flexitarian. Part of me would want to, just because it's literally my most favorite and most used inner corner highlight. But then the other part of me is like, would you really need Flexitarian just for your inner corner highlight? Because that's literally all I use it for. I don't ever even use it on my cheeks. So part of me is like, I probably wouldn't realistically rebuy it just for that, you know what I mean? For mascara though, I would definitely rebuy Tarte Maniator. It is my favorite mascara, has been for years and years and years. This is like my 20th tube maybe at this point. So let me go apply this off camera and I'll be right back. I'm not sure if I would immediately buy a lip liner. Part of me thinks I wouldn't because weirdly enough, lip liner isn't something that I feel like I absolutely need. I know a lot of people are like that where they cannot live without lip liner. I keep saying I just recently got a lip liner, which is really not true because I've been into it for like 2 years, but in the grand scheme of my makeup consumption and how long I've loved makeup of like almost 20 years at this point, I am recently into lip liner. And again, it's not something I would need, but if I wanted to do like a full face and get a lip liner, I would definitely pick up Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude. My favorite lip liner ever. I love it so much. So we're just gonna outline my lips with this. And then for lipstick, I would probably pick up one of the Milani Matte Fetish lipsticks. I just really, really love these. Honestly, I'd probably pick up two at once. I'd probably pick up this one right here, which is Tease. And I would also probably pick up the shade Secret, which is a total dupe for Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. So that way I would have like a brownie nude shade and then also like a pinky nude shade. So I would have variety because your girl can't have just one lipstick color. So we're gonna go in with Tease today and just put that on the lips. It matches this lip liner perfectly as well. This combination is just so good. And last but not least for setting spray, I would 1,000,000% purchase the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. Kind of like the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer. My favorite setting spray ever. If I had to choose one for the rest of my life, it would be this one. I probably would pick up a mini, which I have a mini down there, but I don't want to open and start using a mini just for this video when I have this full size already going. But I could not live without this. Like, it's so good. And that was it, you guys. If I walked into this makeup room right here and for some reason all of my makeup was gone, after getting over the shock of it and how sad I would be, these would be the products that I would repurchase first. Like I said, most of these are my favorites. Obviously, some of them were not, and I explained why I would pick them up instead, but I mean, you can't deny. Not to do my own horn, but this makeup look is pretty. I feel like my skin just looks fresh and smooth and put together. All the cheek products just blend in nicely. The eyes, are beautiful. I love that palette so much. The lips, I just really love all of these products, and these would be what I would repurchase first. Let me know down below in the comments, if you lost all your makeup, what would be some of the items, full face, or some of the items that you would rebuy first? What are some of your favorites that like you cannot live without? I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like I said, I loved doing it. I thought it was a really fun idea, and I'm glad I was able to do like a get ready with me style and apply it to my face and have you guys see all of these. Most of these you've seen in action before, but I just thought it was a fun idea. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. You're awesome and I love you. Please subscribe if you have not yet, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.